Stop overthinking and start lowballing with the MAO formula. What is up, guys? Zach in here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can start using the LAO, the new offer formula, in your wholesaling real estate business. I'm super excited. I'm jacked up today because I'm going to help you become the best wholesaler possible and show you exactly how you can start lowballing your sellers and actually lowball them in a way where they're happy with that you lowball. And really, I'm just going to cut to the chase. The real kicker, the real point why I'm doing this video today is I'm going to help everybody watching this get an extra 25% on every single deal I do by lowballing. This is the year for it. This is the year to start lowballing your sellers and making a ton of money. Rick did a video yesterday where he talked about the LAO formula. We talked about how the 70% rule is basically dead. It is stupid. It is the worst thing I've ever heard in the world. And especially this year in wholesaling real estate, especially in 2023, you should not be using that formula. That is a terrible formula. You should be focusing not on your MAO, but your LAO. So what I want to do today is really clarify what we talked about yesterday. I was getting a lot of views, and really clarify our views on this new offer formula we have, the LAO approach. And this is an approach that is uncommon against common wholesalers. And it's going to be a very good approach and something that helps me out a lot. So we did a video, we worked on it together on why the 70% rule is just trash, like just straight up dookie. All right. Like I could say it like it is. All right. Straight up trash. All right. Do not be using the 70% rule. That's probably one of the stupidest rules I've ever heard in my life. And the truth is the 70% rule is it's a rule where it's just way too low for most markets. That was a rule created by real estate gurus basically in 2003, 2004, when Rick was starting the business. And that was when real estate was like $4, you know, like it's an exaggeration, obviously, but like, guys, this is when I'm talking about my market. All right. Like Port St. Lucie, Florida, like Palm Beach, kind of basically, you were buying properties for $120,000, right? Like 70% rule, that works there. Now those houses are 450, 500, like things have changed. And if you use that same rule, you're going to get destroyed, right? And so I think that's the biggest thing I want to talk about today is don't use that 70% rule. You have to use the LAO offer formula. And so the problem is so many wholesalers overcomplicate the comps and the ARV, and they get so stressed, and they try to work so hard getting it perfectly. And I burst everyone's bubble when I say it, but stop overcomplicating things. Like everybody overthinks and overcomplicates this business. The honest truth is at the end of the day, guys, we lock up deals under contract and we have an equitable interest, and we sell that equitable interest in that deal to a cash buyer or a partner of ours or a house flipper, whatever you want to call it, and we make an assignment fee. That is it. And once you start, straying away from that, that's when you start overthinking in your mind, and that's when you start not making money in this business. I've always found this. One of the richest men of all time, Steve Jobs, Apple, iPhone, all right? Like one of the richest men of all time, rest in peace for him. One of the greatest minds for marketing, one of the greatest businessmen I love studying. He made the greatest quote I've heard for business in a while, but it's simplicity scales, complexity fails. Elon Musk, I know he's a little controversial lately, but you look at Elon Musk, his company, Tesla, let's talk about Tesla for a second. They sell like 5 cars. There's got 5 types of cars. Like it's simple. Okay. Like the cars are very simple too. Like they got cool stuff underneath it. Right. But like they make it very simple. It's not like Ford where there's like 50 different like types, and like it's just simple, right? And so when you really look at this business, if you make it simple and you do the stuff that works and cut all the bad stuff out of it, you're going to be fine. And this is what I'm telling everybody to do. Stop overthinking this and just start lowballing with the LAO formula. And so here's the problem. Let's just talk about garage sale flipping. And garage sale flipping and wholesaling houses is very, very similar. The principles are almost identical. Now, there's a lot of differences, but the principles are simple. Buy low, sell high. That is it. Okay, go to garage sale. All right, I know this thing's it might be worth $6, $7. We take $1 for it. No, we'll take $3. Well, I know it's worth $7, selling for $7-ish. Fine, that's a good deal, right? And then boom, sell it for $7, make some profit in between, right? Do you think when someone's at a garage sale, they spend 50 minutes calculating what this mug's going to sell for? No, they know roughly, and they're just trying to go like way below that, right? And make profit in between. In wholesaling real estate, you should not be, this is a controversial statement. It's true. You should not spend more than 10 minutes comping your properties. 10 minutes. Like that's it. Because if you spend that time talking to sellers, you spend that time working on your lowball, You spend that time gaining more confidence. You spend that time becoming a better person when talking to sellers. That time's better spent doing that. Why do you think I can comp a property in 2 minutes, lowball the seller, and get a better price than anybody who spends 2 hours lowballing it or comping it? Because I focus on the seller. I could care less about the property. The deal is always with the seller because the property can't write a contract for me, but the seller can. And the seller can lower the price. I can't change the value of the house, but I can change the price on the contract. So if a house is ugly, I can just shift it up and change it, right? That is the point, guys and gals. That is what I want to talk about today, and that's what I want to get into it. No one's heard about this before. Rick really mentioned it. We mentioned it both, but everyone finds the MAO, right? It is LAO. That is what we're focusing on. LAO. LAO stands for least allowable offer. That's what we got to focus on now. Stop focusing on MAO. And so I know I got a lot of questions. I want to break it all down, and let's break it down. So here's the truth. So many wholesalers, they're using MAO. It's not working. All right, it is not working. All right. The problem is when people find their MAO, most wholesalers, I'm just telling you the honest truth, that's what they focus on. And that's all they stare at. And that's all they think about. And when they think about their MAOs 250, they're going to lock up deals for 240, 245, and they feel like they got that cushion. And they don't make uncomfortable offers. They try to make offers that they feel like the seller's not going to be too upset over or whatever. And they will you take 240, 230? Like, people are locking up deals for like too thin of margins. And when you focus your energy on lowballing it, and yes, you can get up to that MAO, right? Like, I'll always take a $5,000 deal, but too many wholesalers, they're just not offering low enough. And I truly believe in my heart because they feel like they have that MAO number and they're using it as a crutch of why they did it too high. When if you force yourself, and this is the truth, I want you to stop focusing on the MAO too much, like 5-10 minutes. And I want you to focus on the LAO. So for people spending, let's say you spend 100% of your time on MAO, you should probably divert 20% to MAO and 80% to LAO. And LAO, you can calculate your LAO in less than 5 minutes. And I will show you in this video how to calculate your LAO in under 5 minutes. And I promise everybody watching this, there's a 25% increase in your deals. So if you are on average making, let's say 100K a year, by the end of this video, you should be able to make 125. No extra work. Like, you don't have to spend any more hours. It's just one calculation. And if you have the MAO already, the LAO will be done in 4 seconds. It's pretty simple, right? So LAO is basically what we call the least allowable offer. Pretty simple, right? Very advanced, but it is the least allowable offer. LAO basically states we want to calculate what's the least amount I can offer a seller without them kicking me out of the house. And let me tell you the honest truth here. All right. This is a crazy statement, I know, but let's just talk about negotiations for a second. All right. Now, there's this book out here. It's called Never Split the Difference from Chris Voss. All right. It's a very good book. I love Chris Voss. He's a great negotiator. And he always says, never meet in the middle, never split the difference. Right. And I agree with what he does. With what he does is he negotiates life or death hostage FBI situation. And so if you don't get what you want, someone's not going to live. So that's very high stakes stuff. So don't split the, if it's between life or death, we ain't going to split the difference. Okay. But we can split the difference with money. All right. So he's negotiating life. All right. Like legit life. Okay. That's as high stakes as you can pretty much get. Like I don't know anything more high stakes than that. And then you got little old me negotiating houses. So like the stress isn't even on me at all. But let's talk about this. Okay. Let's really break down the numbers, the calculations, all this stuff. Okay. So we got this. All right. So if I have my MAO at 250 and let's say I offer 230. All right. So we're at 250. They're at 250 is my MAO. I know I can get 250 for a cash buyer. So I offer 230. They say 300. And then we negotiate from there. We get it for 240. Right. Or like, let's just do really quick math really quick. If the guy's at 275, all right, and then I offer him 230 and we meet the middle, that's at 252. That ain't a good deal. But the guy in his head, human beings are weird. I just want everybody to understand this. We got a lot of psychology books. We got a lot of books on mindset, negotiating, all these great things. And human beings are really weird. Like they're really weird. Okay. Like I'm a weird dude too. So I get it. All right. What I could tell you is negotiating, and this was with this deal I was doing, but like human beings want to feel like they got to win. All right. And so if you ever see something where if you're selling something for $100, you want to buy it? Not really. I don't feel like I'm getting a win out of that, right? It's worth 100. I'm going to buy it for 100. But if I said we sold this thing for $500, but now we're slashing it to $100 for the next 30 days, you're more likely to buy it because you feel like you're getting a win. All right. Like you feel like you're getting a win here. In wholesaling real estate, when you split the difference, the seller feels like, I'm not happy. He's not happy. It's a win for me, right? And so when you split the difference, so let's say, for example, you are selling something for 50% off. It's usually $1,000, 50% off, $500 versus 200, 50% off. That's 100, right? It's a 50% win. You're more likely to buy it. And so if I offer, let's say 200 and he's at 275, then he has to split the difference at 230 and then to make 20K. So when you are meeting in the middle, I hope everybody knows, this is why I tell everyone do LAO. If I'm doing this and we meet in the middle, we're at here. But if I am at here and we meet in the middle, he has to, every single time I give a low offer when we meet in the middle, he has to go more down. And so the point is, the least allowable offer we get once we meet in the middle, because the seller's going to meet in the middle no matter what, usually, because it just makes sense. His price or her price will always go down lower. I hope that made sense for everybody. But the gist of it is, when you have the least allowable offer, because if I go here, like, that's embarrassing. He'll never meet in the middle when I do that. But if I go here, he'll meet the middle there. That's the least allowable offer. It's the least offer where we think they're not going to be upset at me. They theoretically could meet in the middle with me here. That is the point. And so if I'm like, hey, I want to make 40K on a deal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what he wants to sell it for and then calculate what my least allowable offer should be. And if I meet in the middle, I'll make 40K. That's one way to do it, right? And that's not the way I'm going to tell you to do it today, but it is an interesting way to do it, right? And so it's fascinating how you get these offers. But for most people, you are just overcomplicating it. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got to calculate 4 hours on this. So it is someone said, what is LAO? Like, come on, least allowable offer. All right. It's logical for this to happen. And so let's calculate LAO and let's just talk about this. All right. I'm giving everybody on this channel, everybody watching this, you are getting a shot clock. All right. This is like the NBA. You got 24 seconds. You got to shoot the shot. All right. 24 seconds to get the ball. Right. That's how the NBA works. It's a shot clock. You have to shoot during the allotted time. And so in wholesaling real estate, I'm giving everybody a 5 to 10 minute shot clock for their ARVs and their comps and repairs. You have 5 to 10 minutes at most. If somebody wants to sell their house and you got to call them back, they are going to have a 5 to 10 minute shot clock. That is it. Like, we are not going to overcomplicate this. We're going to not make this crazy. We're just going to have a 5 to 10 minute shot clock. So let's explain the shot clock, right? You're going to have 5 to 10 minutes to find the ARV, find the repairs, and then use your multiplier to find MAO and your LAO from there. It's not that complicated. So what I want to do is share with you exactly, basically a 3-step process to find LAO. It's really simple. And hopefully I have no questions after that, but I think I will. And see if there's anything I can help you guys out with. So let's talk about this, right? And so let's break down the step-by-step of how to get a 25% increase in your assignment profits and exactly how to do it, right? That is what I'm going to talk about. And let's get it. All right, let's go. All right, here it is. So let's break it down. 5 minutes. How do I do this, right? Number one, step one, we're going to find ARV and then we're going to find the repairs. I can tell everybody, when you're looking for ARV, pretty simple. Like, I don't want to complicate this. You go to freewholesaling.com. It'll break down exactly how to do it. But if you do want to do this, so you see up here, freewholesaling.com, it's pretty simple. What I'm going to do is it's like, if I'm going to sell, I always use this example because it's kind of random, but like a signed Michael Jackson Thriller vinyl from 1985. Do you know how much that's worth right now? No, I don't know how much it's worth. I'm going to go to eBay and I'm going to see what similar ones are selling for. Okay, it's worth about $900. Like that's all you really have to do. I'm going to see, okay, what are similar ones like this selling for recently? I go to eBay. That's how I figure it out, right? That's how people in garage sales figure out what something's worth. So if I have a 3-2, so it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it's 1,000 square feet, and I know it's a wood frame shingle house, whatever, right? And it's built in 1994. What are some similar houses in in the same subdivision, so quarter mile, selling for? Okay, this one sold for 220. It was a little more square feet. This one sold for 200. Find the square feet, multiply it, boom, right? That's ARV. It's I hate to say it, but if you have like PropStream, so listarea.com, ZachData.com, DMZach.com, like you got any of those softwares for drawing for dollars, regular list pullings, things like that, it's really easy and simple because you can pop the comps up in like 4 seconds and just do the things in there. And so that's it, right? Like, and then repair costs is like, oh no, repair costs. This is super complicated. How am I ever going to figure out repair costs? What I'm going to do, I'm doing this live right now. I just logged into freewholesaling.com. And all I'm going to do, go to freewholesaling.com, is I got a little formula here. All right. It's under ARV, how to calculate repair costs. It's right here. So let me show everybody my repair cost worksheet. this year for wholesaling real estate. It's really simple. It's not complicated. And yeah, so let's share it. All right, right here. So that is it. This is the repair cost worksheet. Do not complicate this. Do not make it crazy, but like this is it. All right. I don't understand why so many wholesalers get this confused, but if you want to find repairs, this is literally wholesaling.com. Top left-hand corner here. It's the repair cost. All right. You just have to figure out, does it need light, medium, or heavy repairs? At the video there, it'll show you exactly what a light one is, what a medium one, and then what is a heavy one. Roughly most houses, I will tell everybody, is in that medium category. You're not going to be perfect, but you're going to be in that category. And that's how you're going to figure out. So that is my repair cost worksheet. And I want everybody watching this to understand that you're not going to be perfect on it. Here's the point. You don't have to be. And that's the one thing I want everybody to understand. You don't have to be perfect. All right. You just have to. So take a screenshot of this. Actually, no, go to freewholesaling.com. All right. Like, don't be greedy. All right. Go to freewholesaling.com. But here's the truth why I make it, you only get 4 minutes. Oh, but I got to be perfect. Here's the truth. When I calculate ARV, my MAO formula, even when me and Rick, we use the same MAO formula, we're going to come out with different numbers roughly. Like we're a little different on the repairs. And here's the thing. Your cash buyer is going to be different on his repairs. He's going to be different on how he looks at comps. They're not going to care, oh, well, this comp here sold for this, so this is what your MAO has to be. A cash buyer is going to say, screw you. It's my money. I'm going to look it up myself. And then he or she is going to calculate their own MAO formula. So you don't have to be to a T exact. Just have to be roughly in a range and then go from there. That is it. All right. It's like these people are like, I got to calculate the perfect weight I should be at. Like, not real. Like, here's a range that you won't be overweight or obese and then just stay out of that range, right? Like, that's roughly where you got to be at. Like, oh, I want to make, it's not like I want to make 6 figures and I got to be like, well, if you want to make 6 figures, do you have to make 120,000? Should I make 130? Like the lowest you can, like the highest you can, but for an offer, the lowest you can, right? And so you just got to be at a range. Like you don't have to be perfect. Like there's no such thing as the perfect like weight to the ounce that you should weigh, right? Just be at a rough range, right? Like that's it. It's pretty simple. And so repairs should take you in ARV 4 minutes. Like I'm just being honest with you. Sounds crazy to say, but it's true. It's insane for me that these wholesalers, gosh, it stresses me out that you guys overcomplicate this. It makes me want to cry sometimes because you're losing out on deals. Step 2, we're going to find MAO. I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds for that, right? At freewholesaling.com, we break it down. What is our formula, which I will go into freewholesaling.com and break it down. I literally just logged out of it because I'm crazy, but I'm crazy for wholesaling. Let's go here. So literally, this is just freewholesaling.com. And if I have to convince you to go to freewholesaling.com at this point, I don't know what else I can do. But how to calculate MAO. Where is MAO? Here it is. All right. So here it is. Here's my MAO formula. And if I get one comment, all right, I'm going to go berserk. Oh, but my guru said I should do. I don't care what your broke guru who does no wholesaling deals has to say. I'm going to tell you what legit works in this business. All right. This is what works in 2023. If your ARV is under 120, you can use 70%. ARV minus repairs multiplied by 70%. Oh, but John Santos told me it's ARV multiplied by 70% minus repairs. And then I have to use the quadratic formula and then add an x squared to the 4th decimal point. And then on top of that, I get divided by 0.96. That's what I hear. Seriously, this is the MAO formula. 30 seconds. You plug the numbers in. What's my ARV? What's my repairs? Why is it? I'll explain this one time. ARV minus repairs is what the house is worth right now. That is it. I don't want to overcomplicate this, but this is the truth. This is it. All right. So I want everyone to understand this. All right. This is not rocket science. I promise everybody. What is ARV? ARV is the after repair value. Yeah, that's what it is. And so after repair value is what the house is worth when it's fixed up and you put all the repairs in the house, right? Yeah, pretty simple. What is repairs? How much money I have to put in the house to make it the ARV value. So if I have the house right now and I add the repairs to it, that equals ARV. That's what the house is worth. So if a house is ARV is 300, but it needs 50K worth of work, if I put that 50K into work, it will be worth the ARV. So that is what the house is worth. Now, as a cash buyer, I want to discount off what the thing is actually worth right now because I got to put work into it. It's called value add. Talk to any old rental guy, old real estate investor. They all talk about value add. How do I get discounts on properties? No one would ever want to sell their house for 20% below what it's really worth. Yes, they will on one instance called value add, where because you have to put your time, sweat, renovations, they'll give you an additional discount because of the hassle of dealing with it. And so ARV is what the house is worth on its best day. Repairs is how much money you have to put into the property to make it its best day. And so that is what it's worth. That is what its current value is. So if I add the repair costs onto what its current value is, it equals the ARV. And so you multiply a percentage off each cash buyer once from there, and that's what you get. The higher the price, the higher the less of a discount they can get, which is pretty cool. So if the ARV is under 120,000, guess what? You can use 70%. ARV 120 to 200, you can use 80, 200, 275, 83, and then 85% of anything above 300, right? That is it. So I want to say it one last time for the broke gurus in the back, all right, that are trying to use their little formula. As somebody that flips a lot of houses, as somebody that does a lot of wholesaling deals and who knows a lot of cash buyers and who is a cash buyer, I know what a property will sell for on the market right now, right? And if I put the repairs, it will equal the ARV of what other properties are selling for. I want a 70% off of that. I went 80% off of that, and then I can make a profit in between that, right? So the point is, if I am a cash buyer and I want to buy a house for 200,000, and I know the ARV is 200, and it's got to put 50K in repairs, right? Let's do the quick math here. Pretty simple. 200K is the ARV, and it's got 50K in repairs. So ARV 200 minus 50K is 150. This is what the house is currently worth right now. So if I put the property on the market, it'll probably sell for 150. But here's the problem. When I put it on the market, the buyer's gonna be like, well, I got to renovate it. So I need to make some profit on this. So I need to make 20% profit because I got to put 50K into it. So I multiply that by 80%. Boom. That's it, right? They usually want to buy it between 120. 120, they could put 50K in repairs. Boom, at 170. And then they could probably sell it for 200, maybe a little more, but roughly 200 if we're going to be conservative on it. All right. And so that's not a crazy profit, but that is MAO. The reason why I call it MAO is some cash buyers want to buy it below MAO. Some want to buy it above. It depends how smart and savvy the investor is. So for me, as a real estate investor, as someone that loves flipping houses, I would probably be at 60%, 70, 75, and 80 for those percentages because I'm used to making 40, 50K on a flip. But a guy that's fresh out of a real estate seminar, maybe they were listening to some real estate podcast and they want to get into it and they work a 9-to-5 job. They don't want to make as much profit as me. And so they're willing to pay more than me because they're less experienced than me, right? Pretty simple. So that is it. I don't care what your broke guru got to say. Come on. All right. Like, I don't want to hear it. Okay. And as somebody that wholesales across the entire country, that's what it is. So I appreciate everybody handling me on my tangent of why these broke wholesaling gurus are ruining the industry, but it's true. And so let's talk about step 3, which is the last one, but that takes about 30 seconds. Now this can take 30 seconds. All we're going to do is take 20 to 30% off the top of our MAO, and that's our LAO. That's it. So let's do some really quick numbers. All right. So if I figured out my MAO is 120, I'm going to multiply it by 0.7 LAO, 84, right? That would probably make me around 36 grand on a deal that low. That's pretty cool, right? If I figured out my MAO is 250, I'm probably going to do 0.8, right? I'm going to do 0.8 and I took 20% off that 250. That's 50K. LAO should be that. Heck, you can do 0.7 of that, right? Of 250. That's pushing it. It's very hard for when an MAO is like that, it's a little more difficult to push that because that is going to be let me do the math here. That is going to be a 75K profit. That's pushing unless you got a big motivation on that deal. I'm not saying not to do it, but it gets a little crazy to do. So that's pretty much it on that point, guys. I think a lot of wholesalers, they really overcomplicate this. And that is it. So guys, I'm begging everybody watching this to please stop over complicating things. Spend 5 to 10 minutes on your shot clock and focus on lowballing your seller. I will tell you, the number one way I can make most wholesalers more money when it comes to giving offers is by just focusing on the offer. Not by having your numbers even more perfect, not by doing all these. No, if you just focus on gaining confidence in yourself, practicing you giving offers to people, you will end up making more money. I promise everybody watching. This is how you're going to make more money in this business. It's how you're going to make more money in wholesaling. You're going to make it all by going out here and just lowballing like crazy and making a ton of money. The reason why I know this is because our students on our channel, all right, we are pretty much the only YouTube channel that people are doing $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 deals. Pretty much the only YouTube channel that there are some good big deals there, but not the volume that we do, right? So if you go to freewholesaling.com and you see it, we actively have new wholesalers making 50, 60K on deals actively. And why most wholesaling, I don't sell anything, and all of our students make more money than the average newbie, right? Why do people learning from freewholesaling.com make more money than the people that don't? Because they follow my advice and say to lowball like crazy. Go for the no, right? You look here, 50K, 20K. They made some big checks. 50K check. Michael got 5, so no big deal. 70. There's good ones here, but like 15K, 30. Like guys, these 30K checks, 76 grand, right? Like there's some smaller ones, obviously, but like guys, it's big, right? Like there's $46,000. Like look at this one, 46 grand. Come on, that's money right there, right? So shout out to Adele there. But like, it's very unheard of for beginners to make 46 grand on a deal. You know why? Because these broke wholesaling gurus are not telling you to push yourself beyond your limits, right? Most people told like, hey, you can't make this amount of money in wholesaling. I got told that plenty of times. I just broke, like it's a mental barrier in your mind, right? Most people say, hey, you can't do this, right? You can always do it. It's really, life is exactly what you think of, right? Unless there's something out of your control, most things in your life are in your control if you can't control it. And don't let anybody tell you not to do this or something to do this, right? But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Like I want everybody to know, why do most people outside of our YouTube channel don't make 46K on their first deal or $46,000 on their deals? Pretty simple. I want everybody to understand this, because those gurus put a limiting mindset on them that they can't make more than 40K on a deal, or more, they can't make more than 30K on a deal. You know why? This is simple, because they are not giving uncomfortable offers. And when they push themselves to get uncomfortable offers, they need money. Why do you think of my business? I make on average 30 to 35K on an assignment, not double closing, not flipping, 35K. It used to be 40, but now it's 35. But we're doing more deals. And my average wholesaler in my market, because I know the title companies, they're making 10 to 15 at most, because I lowball twice as much as them. And when I shoot more 3-pointers, I make more 3-pointers, right? Everyone's shooting 2-pointers, I'm shooting 3-pointers. And I get the same amount of shots going in, because I got really good at shooting 3s. That's pretty much it, right? And so I want everybody to watch this to understand this, that like, if you don't lowball, someone else is, and they're going to make money. And if you don't lowball, then the seller's going to get the rest of the money. So you should do it too. And so here's the last part I want everybody to understand. If you're scared to lowball, so I think this is the thing stopping most wholesalers right now, okay? They're scared to lowball. They're scared this person's going to say, oh my gosh, that was way too low. Get out of here. Screw you. Rah, 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 blah, 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 blah. Like, that's what people are legit scared of, right? I can tell you, sounds a shocking statement. So I just make sure no gurus are listening to me. I don't think I've ever said this before, but go to freewholesaling.com. I have live calls of me talking to sellers, and you can copy what I say. And I love my favorite one. I'll tell everyone: good cop, bad cop approach. Hey, Mr. Seller, I was talking to my partner Rick about this deal, and he wanted to buy this thing for like $175,000. That's what he told me. Oh no, blah, blah. Hey, I know. Rick's crazy. He wants to buy for 175. 175, I don't think I can do 175. I mean, that's what he was saying, right? That's why I'm here, Mr. Seller, because I'm the voice of reason between us. I mean, he wants 175, but between you and me, I kind of do the work on these deals. Like, what works for you? And then boom, negotiate from there, right? If you blame it on somebody else, they won't get mad at you. This is why police officers are really good at interrogating people, because they have a good cop, bad cop approach. They can leverage the bad cop to get kind of what they want and make the good cop look good. And then boom, you can use it from there, right? And so this is why you get a lot of leverage when you do it. So go to freewholesaling.com. I tell everybody, go for the no. Make sure that first offer gets a no, and then you'll make more money than ever, right?